Hello, welcome to gusmcdoll Strategy and Tactics, and thank you to our subscribers. In this series, we play through the 16 operations of the German Grant campaign in Close Combat 3, the Russian Front. Please remember to subscribe, comment and like the video, and if you want to show your support with a donation, the links to PayPal and Patreon are in the description. It is day 2 of 7 on Operation 5 of 16. Battle Briefing. Counterstroke at Kharkov, the German attack. Congratulations, you've advanced to the next sector. Your objective is to keep hounding the enemy and make a breakout. Your command continues to be attached to the 6th Army. Refit or replace any tanks in your fighting force. Add armour if you can. Expect enemy tanks, but watch for anti-tank guns as you advance. Use infantry and support teams to engage the Bolshevist infantry forces. Save your heavy weapons for hammering the enemy's armour and anti-tank weapons. The stream, running through the southern quadrants of the sector, will not slow tanks from advancing, although the forests will. The hills to the northeast dominate the terrain. If you can gain either of them, you can hit the Bolshevist positions with flanking fire and roll up the entire Russian line. The stone buildings offer protection superior to the wood buildings. You can use tanks as infantry support weapons, but don't lose them to anti-tank fire. Complete the breakout, now! We start the operation with the same forces from the last battle. Von McDowell, Command Sonderkraftfahrzeug 251-10. Group Leader, Kommando Behorden 1941. Heavy Infantry, Sturmgrenadier 1942. Another squad of Heavy Infantry Sturmgrenadier 1942. Machine Gun Infantry, Maschinengewehr 42. Medium Tank Panzer 3H. Medium Tank Panzer 4D. Heavy Anti-Tank Gun 8.8cm Flak 36. Another Heavy Anti-Tank Gun 8.8cm Flak 36. Anti-tank carrier Sonderkraftfahrzeug 251-10 with a 3.7cm pack. Another anti-tank carrier, also with a 3.7cm Panzerabwehrkanone. And a medium mortar 8cm Granatwerfer. In the last episode, I said I wanted to put von McDowell in a command vehicle. I now have the chance. Command vehicle, Command Panzer 4F2. Commanders provide leadership on the battlefield. This tank makes commanders more visible but enables them to move without becoming fatigued. The Mark IV has a 7.5cm main gun, 2 machine guns and thick frontal armour. The team is equipped with Bau MG34, 2 smoke dischargers, coaxial MG34, Walther P38 pistols for the crew, and 7.5cm L46 cannon. And let's rename the team. That's better. Next, let's replace casualties in the Sturmgrenadier. Also, I want more armour for the Kampfgruppe. Medium assault gun, Sturmhaubitzer 42. Use this turretless assault gun as mobile artillery for infantry support. Target buildings, strong points and anti-tank guns instead of tanks. No turret means the Stu must turn to swing its 10.5cm main gun more than 10 degrees. The team is equipped with smoke discharger, 10.5cm L28 howitzer, coaxial MG34, and 4 Walther P38 pistols for the crew. So, that is Kampfgruppe McDowell. Let's examine the terrain and develop a plan. North is to the top of the map. The road from Poltava runs along a stream and leads to a small village with a prominent church. On the other side of the village is a bridge across the river. The Germans must take the bridge to advance further in this sector. I've marked 5 areas. Number 1, Hill 221 and the high ground to the west. The hills are featureless but offer excellent observation and fields of fire over the whole area. Number 2, the open ground in front of the village. This area offers no cover and little concealment, but also no obstacles to movement. Number 3, the road running along the river. The river is in a small ravine which offers concealment to infantry. The far side of the river is wooded. A shallow ford crosses the river. The river itself is a minor obstacle to vehicle movement. Number 4, the village. The most prominent building is the 3-storey St. Sophia's Church in the centre. The church still bears obvious signs of damage from the Russian Civil War, during which the communists attacked and looted churches. There is a graveyard west of the church. The remainder of the village consists of single-storey buildings. There is a single 2-storey schoolhouse building to the north of the village. Number 5, the bridge. This small wooden bridge is the only crossing point in the area suitable for heavy vehicle traffic. East of the bridge are woods, with Hill 213 and the high ground in the east, ideal for support weapons. Key terrain includes the high ground, the river, and the bridge. But the church is decisive terrain, as it covers all approaches to the bridge with observation and fire. Avenues of approach include across the open ground to the north or along the road to the south. The most likely and most obvious course of action is for the Russians to defend west of the river and use the long lines of fire provided by the open fields. The centre point of the defence would be an anti-tank gun in or near the church, using the building as cover and sighted to fire across open ground or down the road. If the enemy has armour, it will be concealed in the village, ready to emerge wherever needed. A machine gun would be in the 2-storey house to the north, covering the open ground and also the bridge. The infantry would form a protective screen for the anti-tank gun, using the village buildings with 2 platoons forward and 1 in depth. Scouts in the building to the west would provide early warning. The other course of action is for the Russians to defend east of the bridge, taking advantage of the high ground for observation and fire, the forest for concealment, and using the river as an improvised anti-tank ditch. An anti-tank gun and medium machine gun would be sighted to fire at anything crossing the bridge. The infantry would be concealed in the forest, ready to fire at Germans in the open and able to move about without being spotted. And Russian tanks would be on the road to the south, ready to move along the river and attack the rear of German forces. The first option for the Germans is an attack in the north. The attack would be led by the 3 tanks and assault gun. These units would move rapidly across the open ground with the primary aim of engaging and destroying enemy guns and tanks, seizing the bridge and suppressing any Russian infantry movement in the open. The panzer attack would be covered by the 8.8 cm anti-tank guns and machine gun on the high ground, with the mortar providing fire support. A smoke barrage would blind any observers in the church. With Russian tanks and guns destroyed and Russian infantry suppressed, the German infantry, following on foot, would clear the buildings under protective fire from the anti-tank half-tracks. The advantage of this plan is the use of speed and surprise to overwhelm the defence. The disadvantage is that the tanks are exposed to flanking fire from the church in the initial advance. The second German course of action is a more cautious advance up the road. The fire support group, comprising the 8.8 cm anti-tank guns, MG42 and mortar, would occupy a support by fire position on the high ground. From here, they would engage and destroy enemy tanks and guns. Meanwhile, the infantry would occupy the river ravine and use it as a trench line and concealed approach to the southeast of the village. The tanks, assault gun and half-tracks would cover the infantry advance, ready to provide overwhelming fire to the front. Once any anti-tank guns or enemy tanks were destroyed, the mechanised group would advance to the outskirts of town and support the infantry to clear the buildings. Any Russian infantry positions would be suppressed and destroyed by the combined firepower of multiple cannons and machine guns from the 6 vehicles. The disadvantage is that this method is slower than the first dashing panzer assault. but the advantage is that it uses overwhelming firepower to destroy the enemy defences without exposing German forces to flanking attacks. The artillery has the following missions before the tank attack: counter battery fire on enemy artillery located in positions which command the ground over which the tank attack is to be made, concentrations on enemy tanks and assembly areas, harassing fire on all areas in which the anti-tank units are located or suspected, adjusting fire with high explosives on probable enemy observation posts commanding the sector to be attacked. Oberleutnant von McDowell stood near the half-tracks, conferring with his squad leaders. Through his binoculars he could see the single onion-domed spire of an Orthodox church, the dominant building in a small village to their front. According to the map, there should be a bridge on the other side of the village. He chuckled as he remembered the battalion commander back at headquarters stabbing the map insistently with his short, nicotine-stained finger. "You must take this bridge." Von McDowell looked at the small hills off to his left and started to develop a plan. I have now moved my troops into position and will execute the plan in real time. Let me know in the comments below what you think of the various courses of action and if you've identified a viable alternative. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more great strategy and tactics content. And so we begin. Achtung Panzer! A T-34. Hit and damaged. Ohlmeyer's gun also targets the T-34. Hit again. Hit and destroyed. The T-34 is burning. A Russian mortar is firing from near the bridge. Hit. Russian infantry retreating in the open.
Спасите меня!
The MG-42 targets the medium machine gun. And destroys the crew. Fire support now suppresses the suspected Russian mortar position. And Russian troops on the riverbank. The MG-42 targets Russian infantry in the open, moving south, just under 200 meters away.
Мы пропали!
The Russian mortar near the bridge is still firing.
Находимся под огнем!
a smoke round to blind the 8.8cm gun. So far, this battle has belonged to the fire support group. The Sturmgrenadier now advance along the river ravine.
Нас сильно обстреливают!
Truppe umgruppiert.
Gottberg's Panzer IV-D has advanced to the edge of the village to provide overwatch for the infantry.
Wir liegen unter schwerem Beschuss!
Ohlmeyer's 8.8cm anti-tank gun has come under fire from Russian infantry. Oberkanonier Juncker is dead and the others cowering. The Russians are in the field north of the schoolhouse. The Germans put them under cannon, machine gun and mortar fire.
Ложись!
Achtung Panzer! A KV-1S. Ohlmeyer's gunners waste no time in the face of this new threat.
Противник предложил прекращение огня.
The tanks to the south fire on Russian infantry moving near the graveyard.
Я больше не могу!
Hit! Ohlmeyer hits the KV-1S. Schutzmann frantically reloads. The armour has no line of fire on the KV. The KV bites back,
Wir sparen Munition.
hitting the 8.8cm gun and killing Gudegast and Otto. Something must be done. Von McDowell gives the command, and the armour starts to advance rapidly into the village to get behind the KV-1S. Minor victory. The battle ended because the Russians fled the battlefield. The Germans gained control of the area and will advance. German losses were 3 dead, all on Ohlmeyer's 8.8cm anti-tank gun. Russian losses were 7 killed, 8 wounded and a T-34 destroyed. Let's examine the Kampfgruppe. No new medals. The MG42 did some work. And Zeltmann's Panzer IIIH. Oberkanonier Schladitz and Buhlmann in Baumann's 8.8cm anti-tank gun are credited with the T-34 kill. Gefreiter Schellenberg in the half-track and Gefreiter Fürstenberg in the mortar also did some work on Russian infantry. The Kampfgruppe continues to grow in morale and experience. But Ohlmeyer's team lost 3 members. Juncker, Gudegast and Otto were all killed during the battle. Two of the 3 gunners are veterans of Moscow, and all will be sorely missed. So, what did we learn? The key lesson was the importance of fire support and a good support by fire position. This battle was won by the combined firepower of the 8.8cm guns, the MG42 and the mortar, against which even Russian T-34 and KV-1S tanks could not prevail. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and donate. And stay tuned for the next episode.